There we go. Awesome. Okay. So first off, do you prefer William, Bill? What do you like to be called?
Uh, Never Bill or Billy.
You got it.
Will or William, I answer the both. It's as if nothing changes.
Okay, sounds good. And what do you love the most about your voice?
My falsetto.
Your falsetto. What do you love about it?
The fact that I can do things like this all day long. Let me just think of an exercise.
Cool. Feels good to sing up there.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I like to describe myself as the most mousy soprano of
Okay.
a falsetto can have.
Okay, cool. And if you could change one thing about your voice, what would you change or improve or whatever word you want to use?
Um, Basically, I already have. Um, for these past 2.5 years, I've actually been growing a lot of how do I say um, foundation. I've had a strong foundation with anything I approach in the voice for a while. What I'm working on right now is my mix, um,
Okay. What
and
does mix mean to you?
it means a very unworldly blend of chest and falsetto.
Okay.
Um, so what I'm looking for in this lesson is figuring out if there's anything I can do to uh, be able to sing louder with it because I'm trying to develop a mixed belt.
Okay.
Um, that and if there's nothing else I can do, maybe some exercises to help me translate it to a classical sense.
What do you mean?
Like I want to be like if getting to that mixed belt point will just take time with what I'm at, what I'm working with so far. If that's all that I need to use time, then I want to see if I can use it for classical, like singing in classical music as a tenor.
Oh, okay. Have you sung any classical music before?
No, but I do have. It's more like the style is what I notice about music rather than genres. It's weird.
What do you think the
But
difference
some
is? But
songs I have noticed are Nessun Dorma.
okay,
Um,
it's a big one.
L'abbiamo delle cicaligi. I don't I don't fully
Okay.
know the name of that song.
Okay. Yeah,
Things
some
like that where
big pieces for sure. Just for a little bit of context with that, I don't expect pretty much anyone to sing Nessun Dorma. It is I don't know your voice yet. I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you'll be able to do. I don't know what you'll be able to do down the road. Traditionally, that role is not sung by younger people. Like you probably won't get cast in that role until your late 20s because it's just so physically demanding. And it, anyway, there's a lot to it. Can you do that? I don't know, maybe. But if you want to do like more classical music, then I would say like start working on some easier classical pieces, just to start working into it. Maybe stuff from the 26 art songs and aria books, just to start getting used to singing in Italian and to just some of the other conventions of classical music. Because ultimately, in Guy's high voice, I do think there's a lot more in common between genres than people kind of give credit. And so if you're singing some really, really high, good pop or rock music, I do think that there's a lot in common with what it takes to sing high tenor, legit music. Um, anyway, it's good to know what your goals are, but like I just want to temper them of being like, we probably won't work on Nessun Dorma today or this year if we work together. Wonderful. Do you have a song that you would like to look at today?
Um, there's I've been going back and forth, like I've been going back and forth between songs sung by females and just singing the same exact octave
Mm-hmm.
in my mix, and singing songs that are like based on and singing tenor songs. Are you a fan of Disney?
Sure.
There's this song in the movie Enchanted called So Close. That's
Okay.
the one I might like to improve upon.
Perfect. 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 Okay. So I teach mostly through exercise. So based on kind of what you were saying earlier, I think that fits in really well. So I'll start recording as well and send you a recording of just the audio with it. I highly suggest just singing along with the audio of it as frequently as you can. If you take a day or two off a week, I think that's very, very healthy. But rather than just like picking and choosing, I really do think there's a lot of value in singing through all the exercises, which will be like 10 to 15 minutes. And then I also suggest using a vocal journal where you just start writing down pretty much everything that you do with your voice so that you can kind of treat it like an experiment and be like, when I do these exercises, this part feels awesome, or when I eat this, it feels terrible, or whatever you notice, just to start seeing if you can find patterns with everything. Other kind of general rules for lessons. If anything ever starts hurting, let me know as soon as you notice it. There's always a chance, especially when we're working on bigger belty stuff and loud sounds, for things to hurt, but I don't want that to happen. If I ever ask you to do anything that's like just uncomfortable and you don't want to do it, that's fine. Just say no and we can find some other way to work on it. And if you have any questions as we're going on, just interrupt me. Wonderful. Do you have any questions before we start? No? Okay, perfect. Let's jump on in then. So this first exercise is just so I can hear what your voice wants to do all the way through your range, and it is an ah. It's ah.
Sorry, I just gotta like open. Ah.
Good.
Ah. 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 Ah.
Good, William. Keep going.
Ah. Ah.
Good.
Sorry, I'm just like nervous and wanting to laugh at the same time. I just gotta.
I think that they're connected too. A lot of times when we're nervous, like, we gotta laugh. You're doing great. Just as best as you can. Keep going.
Ah.
You got it.
Ah.
Good. Switch it all over to ooh and just do the whole thing in falsetto. Good. Before we go any further, I need you to adjust one audio setting just because you're kind of cutting out. Have you ever put on original sound on Zoom?
Would that be more useful?
We need it to say on, yeah, because otherwise when you get to these higher pitches, Zoom thinks that it's just noise and it cuts it out. So I just straight up can't hear you. Yeah.
Is this better?
Is it original sound?
It's my computer itself.
So we can use your nice mic, but there's just one setting that we need to go to. So in Zoom, next to mute, click the little caret symbol. So the little arrow, and then go to audio settings.
Audio settings, gotcha.
Perfect. Then at the bottom of that, it should say music and professional audio.
Gotcha, I found it.
Cool. Underneath that, make sure show in meeting option to enable original sound is clicked.
It is.
High fidelity music mode and echo cancellation.
Also clicked.
Wonderful. For suppress background noise above that, make sure that's at low.
Gotcha.
Cool. Then, and then set your nice mic again. I like the nice microphone.
All right.
Cool. On your input volume for mic under your audio settings in Zoom, does it say automatically adjust? Is that clicked?
Automatically adjust. What do you mean?
Automatically adjust microphone volume.
It says. I don't see that. Is it still in audio settings?
It should be in audio settings in Zoom. Yeah. It might be a different build that you don't have that, but just underneath microphone.
Sorry, can you say the phrase one more time? Oh, I see it.
Yeah. So is that clicked or not?
It is now.
Okay, unclick it, but for your input volume, drag that all the way to the right. I want to see what that sounds like.
It is all the way. Wait, input volume. You said yes. It's already up to all the way to the right.
Okay, wonderful, good. Can you turn your gain up just a little bit more? You are really quite quiet.
Better.
Yeah, that's good. Cool. And then up here, it should say original sound off.
Still looking.
This is on my face after you exit out of the settings.
It
then
says
up here.
original sound off, yes.
Good, click that.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, perfect. Okay, let's keep going with that falsetto ooh. Thank you, William. Good. What if you make it a very fluty, round woo, and kind of, can you round your lips like that? Yes, exactly. There you go. Ooh, really protrude those lips. Yes, sir. Lovely. Way to go. Good. You're getting high enough. You just need to open your mouth like crazy. So it might look like it might turn to like an R and O. Yes, sir. Yep. Big mouth, big mouth. Way to go. Let the top become more of an ah. Yes. Very good. Good. Yeah, just open your mouth as big as you can on top of ah. Yes, sir. Keep going. Yes. Yes. Yeah, see if you have one more. Way to go. Oh, you do. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Good, good, good. Good. ahead. It's not perfect, but it sounds great. Go again.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where it kind of tops
I
out.
don't like to let myself go higher than the high F of Queen of the Night.
Yeah. So that was right on. I mean, that last one that you stopped on was the F sharp. So way to go. Yeah.
I have
sorry.
hit it before,
Mhm.
when I was just like a maniac with my falsetto. Like for real, it's the most experimented and most developed part of my voice.
Yeah, because it's easy, right? Like it just kind of fits for you. Honestly, if you went to a conservatory or something, I don't know if you have any goals of going to college or whatever.
I want to so bad, but
Yeah,
I can't afford it right now.
yeah, it is a beast. Highly recommend community colleges if you have any in your area. That's a really nice way to start getting into it, and they still have some.
I am gonna go to one this fall.
Wonderful, good. Yeah, are you going to be in the music program?
It depends on. I'm still working out some of the details, but yes,
Okay.
I want to be.
Good. Yeah, I would go talk to their choir director. I do think that you're at the point that you need to be in a choir. You just need to be around people singing all the time, if that is a thing that sounds at all interesting to you.
Yes, I never really had that community aspect. I've been on my own for quite a while.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I think that you just need that as one of your next steps. So whether it's this week or a year from now or 5 years from now, that is something that I would love for you to start looking toward. Also at community colleges, a lot of times choirs have scholarships. So it's worth asking about and seeing if your institution has that. Anyway, if you ever got put with like a real classical teacher, and they heard your falsetto, there is a chance that they would say, let's look at some countertenor rep. And I agree. I think you should look at some Handel just for fun. So because you love singing in falsetto so much, and you've got that really high extension at the top of your range that a lot of guys just don't have, it would be worth looking at, because if you can get really, really specialized as a countertenor, you can make money singing, which is a hard thing to do. Going to the other goals of singing more traditional tenor rep, we just need to strengthen your chest voice a little bit. Your vocal folds just aren't coming together as much as I would expect in that area.
We haven't even. Well, it's also because I allowed myself to enter into mix a little bit.
I wouldn't call what you were doing mix. I'd say that you were flipping, which is fine.
I do have a strong chest voice, but the reason why I wasn't all that strong was because I was trying to transition in general.
Correct, yes. And I think that that's the main thing I'd like to start working on, is how can we use a bigger chest voice sound, while also letting it transition up into your head voice. Because right now, your vocal folds are just not coming together enough. And pretty much anyone that I know would ask to work on your chest voice. It's further validated by, I just hear you as a fairly soft-spoken person. Do you feel like you're ever loud just in general in life?
In general, for the most part, no, but I have been.
Yeah.
It's just like let me show you. Sometimes if I need to get someone's attention, I'll just be like, "Yo!"
Yeah, so I want to start playing with that. Can we go with that put it on some different notes? So go with a yo.
For real, I don't want it to be this loud when I do it. The gain.
Oh, it should be fine. I'll let you know if you start clipping.
Gotcha. Yo.
Good. Twice as loud if you can.
Yo.
Yes, William. Good.
Yo.
Yes, sir.
Yo.
Good. Keep it loud all the way through if you can.
Yo.
Good.
Yo. Yo.
Good. Now going off of that, try with an ah, 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 ah.
Ah, 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 ah.
Good. Keep ah, ah, ah. And I want to hear that strong glottal.
Ah, 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 ah.
Good. Good. Yeah, so you're kind of starting each of them with an H. Right now, I would love to see if you can get a glottal
Glottal.
ah. Good. How does that feel?
Familiar, because that's ironically what I confused with mixed voice.
Okay, yeah.
Like, I used to belt like that,
Uh-huh.
like straight up trying to whine out.
Yeah, and what I'm concerned with is not actually the vowel shape right now. We're kind of actually making some concessions because I don't think that's a wonderful vowel shape for that area. However, it encourages a heavier chest voice place. And so once we find that fuller chest voice, we can make a lot of modifications to the vowel to make sure that it's a little safer for you to as you start going up into your head voice or your mixed voice or whatever you want to call it. But for now, the main thing that I'm concerned with is actually your onset. So I don't care if you have your mouth like this. Ah, 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 ah. Give that a shot, actually. Really, really small mouth. Good. What if you don't even open your mouth as tall vertically? Ah, 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 ah. Good. Yeah, see, it's the thing that I'm looking for. You can get without needing that really big vowel. Aim for that really strong glottal onset, though. That versus the ha. A few more. Way to go.
Nope.
You got it. Good. Good, William. Two more of these. Good. It's kind of turning into Keep it which is the back of your tongue thing. Better. Last one. Good. Now try the word cow and go cow.
Cow.
Good. Again, I don't think you need to open your mouth near as much as you're opening in this area. Try taking your thumb. Are you comfortable putting your hand in your mouth? Cool. So just take your thumb or your pinky and just put it between your teeth. Good. Don't open more than this as we're doing this exercise for now. Cow.
Cow.
Well done.
Cow.
Good. See if you can kind of slide between these. Cow.
Cow.
Good, William. Strong sound.
Cow.
Good.
Just letting you know, I don't really have that much of a bottom range as much as
Yeah,
I do.
yeah, I know, and we'll work with it. I still just want to get you as low as you can.
Cow.
There you go. Wonderful.
Cow.
You got it. See if you have one more.
Cow.
You do. Keep going. That's great.
Cow.
Yeah, don't back off. Big sound.
Cow.
Good. Yeah, that's where it starts getting a little bit funky. What note do you think that was?
That's a G2.
It was. Yes. Do you have perfect pitch? Yeah? What note is this?
A.
Cool. Yeah, I don't care about quality. Good. What about this guy?
A flat 3.
Okay, how about here?
E4.
Good. Yeah, so you do have perfect pitch. I would start working on more relative pitch stuff. Have you done much of that training?
Not really.
Yeah. So sorry.
But oftentimes, like, I recognize notes the way you do with perfect/absolute pitch. I've heard both. But the way I think when it comes to songs, I do sense in the relative pitch mindset.
Okay,
It's like
cool.
it's like perfect pitch allows me to jump one step further from how I naturally think.
Yeah. If you want to go classical route, having perfect pitch is like fine. It's good. You don't need to have perfect pitch to do any of this stuff, but it does really help with sight singing and ear training exercises, which are the bane of most voices in those programs. So I would suggest just see if you could get like um you don't even need anything fancy, but a college textbook for sight singing ear training might be nice for you to start picking through, and just get to the point that you can just sight read anything. Work a lot on your rhythm. If you can sight read anything and you can sing pretty well, there are ways to make money. Again, I don't want to keep coming back to money, but if you're trying to go into classical music, like usually it's a big thing.
It's a big part of how I want to sing, but
Mhm.
it's not really the route I want to take.
Either way, if you want to start singing more classical stuff, you need someone who specializes in classical music, which I have like some sort of a background in it, but I would say if you want to go countertenor land, find someone locally if you can that you can do that plays piano and just start working on repertoire with them. Like that would be a very essential thing to start doing. I think you can get a lot from online lessons, but if you're wanting to go like that direction with things, I do think that supplementing it with in person with someone playing piano with you is very smart. And also like if you do end up wanting to go to college, if you do go to college, that would be a good thing. You don't need to go to college for music and say I'm going to be an opera singer to work on classical music. There are so many other ways to make money in classical music, whether it's online, whether it's singing recitals, whether there are so many different things that you can do. So I'm by no means trying to like put you into a corner. It's just if you have those goals of doing traditional
I need to
Western classical music,
I need to
get with
get with
someone.
someone.
I'm sorry.
I was just trying to understand your point. You want me to get with someone. I gotcha.
Yeah,
Like get
just with a local voice teacher.
yeah, someone who you said can play piano.
That's a
I'll,
very
I'll
important part of
keep
it.
that in
Yes.
mind.
Yeah. Yeah. As you're auditioning people. Okay. Back to what we were doing with this kind of stuff. Sorry for that. Use that big cow sound. Like you got to start playing with that place a lot. There's one other exercise I want to show you. You might have seen a video of me doing it if you watch a lot of my videos. I don't know, but it's a yawn to kind of set up an ah position. Have you seen that one?
Um, I've seen some of your videos, but
Okay,
I
that's fine.
haven't.
So it starts by just finding a position of yawn. So go. Good. What do you feel behind your molars up at the roof of your mouth when you do that full yawn and you kind of hold it?
A lift.
Wonderful. Excellent. Now pull your tongue back as far as you can. Oh, what do you yeah, I'm still seeing a very high root of your tongue. So like this. Yeah, keep the tip of your tongue on your bottom teeth and then like as if you're yawning, pull your tongue back as far as you can. Okay, good. What do you feel in your throat when you do that? Like right about here.
Just space.
Space. Okay, so a lot of times people will say that it sounds or it feels very open, which is actually a false kinesthesia. It's our body lying to us that there's a lot of space in our throat because that's your tongue taking up all the space in your throat, which for the purpose of what I'm showing you right now is a necessary part of it. We want to find that lift at the top, hold on to that, find what it feels like to have your tongue back too far, and then move your tongue up just until you no longer feel it. So, starting with your tongue all the way back, you might feel like a lot of space or a tension or whatever. Start bringing the back of your tongue up until that disappears. So, if this is your teeth, this is the tip of your tongue, keep that here. And then this is probably feels really open. Start bringing it up until it just disappears, that feeling. And doing this might make you yawn sometimes. That's okay too. So anyway, try that again with oh, and then start bringing your tongue up until that feeling disappears. Yep, that's back. Now start bringing it up. Good. Yeah, and I would do this without making sound because as soon as you add in the sound component, it becomes a lot more difficult to focus on just the sensation of all of these parts and how they're lined up. Anyway, try that again. So full lift, tongue all the way back, and then bring your tongue up until it disappears. And then after that feeling, yeah, that looks great. Now make sound through that. Go, ah.
Oh.
Good. Good. How about a slide from the bottom up? Ah.
Oh.
Good. Now don't back off on volume. Ah.
Oh.
Good. Now just in your lower range again. Go with a ah.
Oh.
Good.
Oh.
Good. Now the trick with this whole thing is you can do it just on a breath. And I think it sets up a really wonderful coordination where your larynx is nice and settled, your soft palate is raised, and then your tongue is out of your throat. And so you can do it just with a... And between every single exercise you do, you can kind of find a new wonderful position for that exercise. Let's do a few more of those.
Oh.
Good. Reset.
Oh.
Good. Now volume, volume, volume. Do it louder.
Oh.
Good.
Oh.
Good. What if you don't open your mouth as much? So it's all of those same things just internally. So right now you're here. I want this. Ah. Again, just that one finger space.
Oh. Better.
Way to go. Two more.
Oh.
You got it. Last one.
Oh.
Good. How does that feel?
Feels familiar.
Good.
Like, basically, I've been experimenting a lot with mixed voice. I still call it that, sadly. I know, like, I know you're trying to emphasize, or what it seems like you're trying to emphasize, the terminology does not matter as much as how it feels. Sometimes it does help, though, to be able to label something and then go back to that label to communicate.
Oh, for sure.
That's
I
why
totally agree. With most of this, it's just that like all of these words have so many connotations. I just want to make sure that we're talking about the same thing that's happening with you, regardless of what label we put on it. But yeah, totally agree.
When this feeling, I say it's familiar because I would be singing. I might not be singing with as much volume as I have been in this lesson, but I would be singing like, let me think real quick. What are the lyrics? Oh, yeah. Oh, how can I face the faceless days if I should lose you now? We're so close to reaching that famous happy end, and as it goes on.
Okay. Yeah. Cool. Nice. So that has the similar sort of lifty feeling in the back, right?
Just
wonderful.
Never put it that far forward before.
Yeah, and so the forward just comes from your tongue, right? It's not like, okay, I'm gonna place it forward. All that we do with this is like, okay, tongue is too far back. Oh, that's kind of what this would sound like. Oh, if the tongue's too far back. Oh, and a lot of people would call that forward, just because the tongue's not taking up all that space in the back. But yeah,
and it's gonna be a lot to think about because my tongue is always moving. It's not. I rarely had tongue tension, but it would just be like all the time. It's just like it never has its own position. I have ADHD, so it's just like one of those you gotta keep moving moments.
Gotcha. So
And
the thing that I like about this exercise for that specifically is it at least gives you a back boundary of how far back the root of your tongue can be. Because if your tongue is back all the way that you feel that opening or that tension or that ball in your throat, whatever you want to call it, that's too far back. And so then we just want to go up until by feeling that's not too far back, like we don't feel that opening anymore or whatever. Um, then just anything in front of that is totally fine. Like I think that we need to have a really flexible tongue. I mean, look at how I'm talking right now. My tongue is moving all the time, right? Like we have to be able to move things a lot. It's just important that certain parts of all of these parts don't get really tense, right? Like if the jaw gets tense, that usually wrecks things. That's usually not so super awesome. If like these muscles get tense, that's usually not great. If the root of your tongue gets tense, that's usually not great. You're on the same page. So keep finding that kind of lifty feeling. I do think that's helpful. That's one of the big technique things. Find that back boundary for your tongue and then stay in front of it. That's one of the big technical things. Don't open your mouth as much in your lower range. That's a pretty big technical thing. What else was I going to say? Round your lips when you go up into falsetto on an ooh, like as much as you can get this kind of a feeling versus this will be quite helpful long term. Um, I know I'm going back on what I said of like just do the exercises, but because of how the lesson went, like those exercises, yeah, go sing through them. It's just there's a lot of talking in between. So if you want to do a lot of this stuff on your own, especially knowing that you have perfect pitch, do a lot of slides with all of these things. I would for now try to spend as much as you can under a D4 and just really strengthen your chest voice and get to the point that it's very stable, that you don't feel like you have to open your mouth all the time, like really, really, really big. Yeah, just kind of putting everything that I just said into practice in that area.
that actually reminds me of something. I heard once from a separate vocal coach. I did get a chance to learn from her. One of her tutorial videos, um, she said that for low notes, you don't think big, deep, and dark. You think
Mm-hmm.
high, light, and bright. Now, when when she says that, she literally wants you to go like this is one of the exercises. She literally wants you to spread your mouth,
Mm-hmm.
but also drop all the way. And so I would just like warm up my voice like ah
Okay. Good.
ah
Now for a counter with that, try doing a relaxed face E. Go E.
wait
Yeah, good. Now big sound on those same pitches. E.
e
Good.
e
Good. Now do ah through that same place.
ah
Good. So yeah, it sounds like that one is just practiced more. In general, if it works, it works, but I don't like encouraging people to need a smile at certain parts of their range. When you get to the really, really high stuff, like above a B5, sure. Like you just need to open your mouth like crazy. I don't think that you need to do that in other places. That is a thing that I know a lot of teachers do teach, and they get results sometimes. I would argue with them all day and have fun doing it, but it does work for some people. Opening your mouth as big as you did for that for the lower part, I don't think is helpful. However, I do really like the sentiment that she used of we don't want to over darken the bottom and go like, oh,
I think it
that
is
does
a
not work.
I think it is a temporary thing. I think it
Mm-hmm.
is like a temporary gimmick to help you truly feel it. But I wanted to
Sure.
get your opinion on that.
Yeah. I think that as you go toward low notes, the main things that kind of help are just trying to relax, not opening your mouth too much, and thinking E. Like that E vowel seems to help a lot of people in their lower register. I'll kind of demonstrate what my voice sounds like on a few of them. Like if I do that, ah, versus an E. E. And to me, that's a much more resonant, much more successful strategy than the first one. Again, though, explore all of it and take notes about what works for you, because you're a different person than me, and there might be different things that help you. That's totally fine.
Another thing, one thing I look forward to when I become your age, or at least
Old.
definitely not a child anymore.
Uh-huh.
The low notes, because my true range taps out at about like a full A flat 2.
Now do that with the E, because yeah, E. Good. It's not uncommon for higher voice types to not have that lower extension. One of the best tenors I've ever been, there was a really wonderful tenor that I was in school with. He capped out at like a C. And he is gonna get a lot of money singing opera. Like, it doesn't matter if you have that lower register, as long as you sing things that fit your voice. And having even the A flat, I think, is lovely. Like, most tenor stuff does not go that low. I don't think you're a baritone or a bass at this point, man. Like, I just don't think that's in the cards for you. Could be wrong. Our voices keep developing for a long, long time, but like, I wouldn't place bets of like, when I get these low notes. Like, who cares? You don't need the low notes. Focus on these things that you do really well. The countertenor kind of stuff, probably eventually more of the tenor stuff, but to build up to that tenor stuff, the more true tenory stuff, we just got to strengthen your lower notes. We got to strengthen your chest voice, get it feeling really, really consistent. And then once you do that, it's a lot easier to go up into your higher notes, where what I think you're doing right now is you're lightening everything, which, sure, it's making it a slightly smoother transition between, and I do a lot of falsetto integration stuff. I think it's a wonderful tool. However, if you don't have anything to integrate it into, you cannot mix. And from what you're doing right now, your chest voice is so light. In the speech level singing world, they categorize every voice as either light chest, no chest, flip, pull, mix. And it's like one of those things. And so after we did that at the beginning, I'm like, cool, you're light chest and you're flipping. And so we kind of have this order of like, we have to build up individual ingredients to be able to mix them really well. And when you did that, I thought it worked really well. I just think that you know too much at this point, and you're like, because you've done so much on your own, I think that you have skipped over that part of like strengthening that lower part. Anyway, that's why my focus today was just on that.
I understand. But the reason why I haven't been doing it as much was because I was trying to develop this part of my voice.
Try this. Try with an
I
ooh
see what
and go
you-
from the top of your range with a ooh. Good. Can you let it come back down to a more full kind of spoken place? Ooh. Good. So that's really quite good. That's a lovely skill that takes a lot of people a long time. And so I think that the work that you've done has helped you with that. And I do think that that's going to be very, very essential. Don't neglect your chest voice, man. Like, don't neglect your chest voice.
I haven't. I literally, now I can tell I'm gonna need to turn the gain down for this. I literally used to belt like this.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So I have a strong chest voice. I'm just trying not to. At one point, I was told that, well, I wasn't told that it was a sense of overcompensation, but because I can still sing up there pretty healthily. It's just I would only use chest voice like that. That's why I'm trying not to do it as much.
Again, and I think that you've swung the pendulum all the way to the other side. And we need to just look at things with a little bit more balance of like, do a lot of top-down ooh stuff. I think that's wonderful. And also the stuff I showed you today. You don't need to like totally neglect one to do the other. And for me to know what to do, or I know what I want to have you do after you get used to these kinds of things. It's just too early to start doing it until you feel a little bit more comfortable in these areas. It will be a lot easier to mix in a fuller way with a true mix, because what you just did that to show that belt, I would say is a pull chest belt, which is why it didn't work on the G. That's pretty apparent. If you approach it in a slightly different way, I do think you'll probably be able to go to those higher notes and keep a lot more fullness. But there are two real things with it. There's the vowel. We've talked about the vowel a little bit today, but most of what I've been focusing on today is the vibratory mode that you're using. Because are you familiar with mode 1, mode 2, mode 0? Have you looked into that stuff at all?
I'm afraid I haven't.
No, it doesn't matter at all. Like, why would you? There's not a huge reason to for a lot of people. But I think that they are slightly better terms than chest voice and head voice to use to describe what I'm talking about. Where mode 0 is vocal fry. And it basically, these modes describe how your vocal folds come together to create sound. So mode 0 would be a which is kind of this pulsating sound. Mode 1 is the entirety of your vocal folds are coming together. The muscle of your vocal folds are coming together. And that's ah. And what I heard with you is whenever you were in mode 1, in your speech and in your singing, unless you went otherwise saying, I'm going to be loud, mode 1 is just a little underdeveloped. Mode 2 is just where the ligament of your vocal folds kind of come together to create the sound. It's obvious that you've worked on that a lot. It's obvious. The repertoire that's available to you with that is handle. Look at handle. Look at handle. Because that, I think, would fit you really well for a lot of your goals together. But anyway, we got to keep working on the top-down stuff. Got to strengthen your vocal folds down there. But don't think of it as like okay, this is something I'm going to do today. It's just and fix everything. Do it for 5 minutes at a time. Just, do like octave slides and slides on fifths. I think that stuff will help a lot. But you got to get that foundation for me to really do anything else with you at this point. Do you have any questions?
I don't believe so.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry that we didn't get to a song today. Play
That's
with.
all right.
I do think that if you find a few songs that don't require you to go much higher than a C, rare. I know it's rare to have things with that. That might be a good way for you to start working on the musicianship side of things.
Go in the original keys, that might be useful.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. But again, like, I don't want you feeling like you have to compromise the mode 1 stuff to sing the music. Whereas I think that any song that goes up above like the C or the D, you're probably instinctively going to start backing off on it. And right now that's contrary to what I think you need to develop. So strengthen that stuff up, and then a combination of the top-down falsetto integration stuff and really working on vowel tuning as you start going up is going to be the next step with it. But right now we can't work on the vowel tuning stuff because your laryngeal modes are still just a little bit wonky, which is normal for someone at your age. Honestly, it is normal. Good news is you have ways forward with it. Cool. Okay, it was so good to meet you, William. I gotta go have lunch, but thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, bye.